Are you doing these 5 common mistakes in a ketogenic diet? When I fixed these mistakes, I was able to lose over 22 pounds effortlessly, and I went from this to that. So in this video, I'm gonna go over the top 5 common mistakes that people do on a ketogenic diet. Mistake number 1 is being impatient. While some people can transition from a moderate or a high carb diet to a ketogenic diet and not feel any ill effects or the keto flu, most people actually require up to 2 weeks of adaptation to this new diet before you really reap the benefits, such as feeling amazing, having mental clarity, and shedding weight easily. Guys, keto flu is real, and if you're not prepared for it, you might throw in the towel prematurely. So to avoid falling for this trap, make sure you watch this video that I filmed on the topic. I will also link it in the description box below. And if you don't have time to watch that video, in a nutshell, it's more fluids and electrolytes. But if you want a little bit of a more detailed explanation, then make sure you check out that video. Also, make sure you check out a keto dessert cookbook that I wrote on the topic. All the desserts in that recipe book are only 4 ingredients and can be whipped up super fast. I intentionally created that cookbook in order to help me with my cravings when I started doing ketogenic diet. I have a major sweet tooth, and I did not want that to kick me out of ketosis and that fat burning state, which feels amazing to me. And so for that reason, if you are starting a ketogenic diet, I think it's a great idea to have those skills of whipping up a really quick ketogenic dessert that will help you remain satisfied until you adapt to that fat burning state. Because once you adapt, then your body doesn't really have that sweet tooth and it's not as hungry as it used to be. So it's a lot easier afterwards, but you don't have to go on a ketogenic diet and super clean diet all at once. Pick your battles, start with the ketogenic diet. Even if you're doing dirty keto, that's okay, and that's what I generally recommend, and that's what I see the greatest success with my clients. And after that, the body naturally will want to eat cleaner foods because you just don't have as much of a sweet tooth and you're not as hungry as you used to before. Mistake number 2 is thinking that you need to eat at least 75% of your calories from fats. While that may be true for leaner individuals, if your main goal is to drop body fat, then eating 75% of your calories from fat, even on a ketogenic diet, is going to make weight loss actually harder. So what I recommend and what I did in order to drop my weight was eating 50% of my calories from fat. That's what worked for me. That's what I recommend to my clients, and that will keep you in a state of ketosis or in that fat burning metabolism. I have tested it on myself, and plenty of other people have done the same, so I can guarantee you that even if you drop to 50% only of your calories coming from fat, if you are overweight or obese, you will still be in that ketosis or fat burning state. The problem with eating a much higher fat diet, if you're trying to lose weight, is that fat doesn't take up a lot of space. It doesn't give you a lot of volume. And when we're trying to cut down on body fat, we want to make sure we don't make the task unnecessarily harder than it needs to be. For that reason, eating a little bit less fat and a little bit more protein is going to help you feel fuller for a longer period of time. It's gonna give you that volume and that satiety, and it's gonna keep you in that fat burning state. Mistake number 3 is fearing salt. Salt is only a problem within the context of a high carb diet, guys. So when you're removing the carbohydrates, your body is no longer retaining the salt and the other electrolytes like it used to be. Salt is only a problem within the context of a high carb diet. Why? Because when you eat carbs, your body releases insulin, the hormone that lowers your blood sugar levels, and it is insulin that pushes your kidneys to retain salt and other electrolytes. And so when you take the carbs out, you're not releasing insulin anymore, and your kidneys are no longer retaining salt and other electrolytes the way it used to before. Now, what happens if you go keto and you're still fearing salt is that your kidneys are now getting rid of any excess electrolytes in your body. So all the salt, potassium, magnesium, all of those electrolytes are being excreted from the body at a rapid rate. And at the same time, when that happens, you urinate more often, and so your blood volume drops. and it is that drop in blood volume that makes you feel a little bit fatigued, moody, and maybe not that energetic. This is exactly what people refer to as the keto flu. For some people, it might feel really terrible. For others, it might feel just a loss in energy, and some other people don't even feel that whatsoever. So again, in order to prevent any unnecessary feeling of fatigue and lethargy, all you would have to do is make sure you are upping your intake of salts and electrolytes. So my recommendation is to increase your salt intake so you can put more salt on your food. A general rule of thumb is to salt to taste, because your body can tell you whether or not it requires those electrolytes. So be liberal with your salt intake. You can also take salt tablets or supplements. I will link the ones that I found on Amazon in the description box below. It took me a while to find them, and so I'm gonna make this very easy for you and put the link to the supplements that I was able to find in the description box below. Just a little caveat here, I stopped using those supplements because I noticed that they gave me headaches sometimes. I am prone to getting headaches, and so if you're also vulnerable to that, you may want to pay attention to the fact that those salt tablets might increase your risk of getting a headache. Also, make sure you take potassium supplements, but even better than taking potassium supplements would be to increasing your intake of avocados, which are super rich in potassium. Bananas aren't a great source of potassium when you compare them to things like avocados. And also remember, bananas are super high in carbs and sugars, which is not what we want to eat on a ketogenic diet. And finally, make sure you're taking magnesium supplements. Pretty much most people will benefit from taking a magnesium supplement. I filmed a whole video on the topic, so make sure you watch that video. I will also link it in the description box below. In the video, I go over all the different types of magnesium. So it does make a difference if you tend towards constipation. There's a certain form you shouldn't be taking. If you tend towards diarrhea, there's a form of magnesium that you should not be taking. So I go over all of those different types. Also, I list some of the brands that I feel comfortable recommending to you because they're third-party verified, third-party tested, and they are high quality. Mistake number 4 is eating too many keto junk foods. A lot of processed ketogenic snacks and desserts, unfortunately, have ingredients in them that can kick you out of ketosis, even if those ingredients are things other than sugar. So things like maltodextrin, or even a type of sugar alcohol called maltitol. If those things are found on the ingredient list, it's very likely that that can kick you out of that fat burning state, especially if you consume a large amount of that food. So keep an eye out for how clean that food is, because the longer the ingredient list, the more likely that that food can kick you out of that fat burning state. Mistake number 5 is not counting calories or not taking calories into account and just cutting out the carbs and hoping that the weight is going to drop. You might be able to not count carbs if your main goal for following a ketogenic diet is brain health, mental clarity, energy, all those things. But if your goal is to drop body fat, it's not gonna work for the most part. Why? Because it's very easy to consume large amounts of calories when you're eating ketogenic friendly foods such as nuts and seeds, nut butters, bacon, cheeses, cream, and buttered coffee. And now you have multiple food companies that are creating these highly addictive, absolutely delicious ketogenic foods that are very difficult to eat in moderation. And so if you don't take back control over the amounts of foods that you're eating, it's very easy to fall for all of these marketing tactics and for all of those foods that abound in our environment. If you want to know how to calculate your caloric needs in 30 seconds or less, make sure you watch the video that I filmed on the topic. I will also link it in the description box below. And I hope this was helpful. There will be a part 2 of this video topic coming out in a few days, so make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell icon so YouTube alerts you the very next time I post that new video. And if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. That will let me know that you're enjoying those topics and I can create more videos similar to that. Finally, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.